Honestly, you have a mind of your own. You have a voice of your own. Use it. One vote is equal to one voice. However, our voices are not being heard. Our votes are not really being accounted for because there's no action behind the word that we're trusting. If you really think about it, like your mind, what you think is the big picture. Your voice is the big picture. So just once you understand that, when you realize that, you are unbeatable, you are unstoppable, and you are of value. Well, really, you are of value, but I just want you to understand, like, you really are of value, like, for real. Don't let them folks really just convince you otherwise. CEOs, what's up, your boy C-Option. I'm back with another video, and it's bigger than a vote. A vote in many ways isn't enough for real change to occur. Think about it. A lot of the times you can remember about the promises, let alone guarantees made by a potential politician if elected. Yet when elected, it seems that they aren't even focused on what they said they'd do. It's honestly tiring. It makes you really ask yourself whether or not voting is actually even worth it. It's understandable that voting appears to be the way to create and or cause change. And honestly, that's cap. Until there's actual real change, it's got to be bigger than a vote. Voices need to be amplified, and it seems that it can't be done with just one voice. History has set up rules that presented us with a system, and history is meant to change, let alone occur, especially for the better. The current system is failing millions, respectfully. So if anything, there's got to be a way where people who do rely on a vote are able to ensure that their vote is actually being accounted for through action. And if it isn't, well, let's just say that 4 years, to say the least, isn't sufficient enough, let alone viable for people to wait, to have their voices heard again, for them to cast a vote, to have someone new. It's actually bogus in terms of having to wait. The fact that you can have someone stay for 8 years straight without actual change occurring is scary when you really think about it. Thus, out with the old, in with the new. I think during this time that we live in, it is very apparent that if something needs to happen, we make strides almost instantaneously, meaning within a few weeks, let alone a few months, just for something that can protect someone's health. Yes, it's done with what's called science, and a lot of our problems don't revolve around science. It's mostly logic. That being the case, if it don't work, change it. Evolve, if anything. That's what needs to happen for real change to occur. Realize that one vote is one voice. Reality is what you do next. And that being said, I have 2 screenshots that I feel like go best with what I had to share with y'all. All right. So the first one says, in the end, promises are just words. I'm going to say that one more time. In the end, promises are just words. And the last one says, this one's a spicy one. You're very hard to control when you're healthy. You're very hard to manipulate when you're clear. You're very hard to influence when you're sovereign. I'm going to say that one more time. You're very hard to control when you're healthy. You're very hard to manipulate when you're clear. You're very hard to influence when you're sovereign. So I think time after time, history has even showed us through like whoever's been elected that a lot of the times you can like look back like 10 years back. Some of the things that are being said, okay, if I am elected, this is going to happen. A lot of those things, or some of those things even, if we're even lucky, are finally happening now today. And we're in 2022. I just like to say that like, I'm making this video because like, I really woke up today just thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, first of all, voting really doesn't do shit. Excuse my language, but like, for real, it doesn't do shit in like the grand scheme of things. All right. Because a lot of the times we're told, okay, within our first 100 days, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Whether it's the governor, mayor, whoever it is, president, it don't matter. You're telling us we're going to do this if you vote for me. Cool. A lot of the times it's capped though. I know I'm not the only person who recognizes this, let alone thinks this. I literally woke up today and one of the first things was like, bro, it's bigger than a vote, like for real. So like, I'm just using my voice to like, hopefully like amplify the voices of others who also think like this. Cause I know I could go up to like a random stranger and just ask them like on some real shit, how do you think about this? And they literally, I'm pretty sure 9 times out of the 10, You can ask your neighbor how they feel. You can ask your friends how they feel, those who vote. Okay, how do you feel when you vote? Voting ain't shit, really. Because at the end of the day, your vote goes to for one person. And that one person now has to do all these things for all these voices. But at the end of the day, I think it's very clear to say that 4 years, to say the least, my friend, is not enough. Like, for someone to just stay. Like, that's not worth it, respectfully. And I'm talking about terms, like it's just not worth it in any way. Like, if there's no change within your first 100 days, like your word, like if your word is what you're using to say, hey, I'm gonna do this and that, and your word is worthless, then what are you doing in office? Like, for real, you just chilling there with your suit, with your little, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, you really have to think about those who are really hurting, who are being impacted negatively because of what you said you would do, but you're not doing. It's really bogus. And it doesn't take a politician or someone that has, background in politics to even really understand what I'm talking about. I think in the past 5-6 years, we've been proven that you don't need some type of background in politics to be a politician. You don't need like some type of background in this to be that. Like, honestly, you have a mind of your own. You have a voice of your own. Use it. One vote is equal to one voice. However, our voices are not being heard. Our votes are not really being accounted for because there's no action behind the word that we're trusting, if you really think about it. So all I'm just trying to say in this video is I'm not here to say like don't vote. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy when you really think about it. There are people in the world who are literally went through prison or became better than like what they were before, right? Like before going into prison versus how they are coming out of prison, right? But still are not able to vote, to like be a part of this country that they live in. Like, there are still states that, and this is really like, it's not even like, when you really think about it, it's like, okay, we got the president, right, for the whole country, and then we got like a mayor, governor, this and that for state by state, because every state is different, right? But at the end of the day, like, how is this going to work? Like, how long is it going to take for real change to occur? Like, I'm just curious, bro. I'm really curious, and I know I'm not the only person thinking about this, so I just felt like airing out my thoughts. But I feel like I just kind of like lost track of my thoughts, and I said, hold on. I was just basically just trying to say, like, there are people who are really not even able to vote because they went to prison because of something that they made a mistake. They amended their wrongs, right? They righted their wrongs in that sense, but are still able to not vote. So if you're able to vote, I'm not here to say don't vote. I'm here to say be conscious. That's what I really wanted to say. I'm sorry. Be conscious, in who you're voting for and what they're saying they're going to do. Don't just vote just to vote. Don't vote because it's a trendy thing, because everyone's saying, vote, your vote matters. It's cap. Because every time we say, okay, this is this, none of that, half of that, it's not happening. So until that happens, I just want people to really recognize, call that shit out. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have social media. Like, low key, times are changing. And I'm not like you really can use your voice on social media, if anything, to just say, hey, this is how I feel. What do y'all think about? We don't have to be disrespectful. We don't have to get all, butthurt and rude and calling people out like you're this and that. No, you could be positive about it still. But like, just really just understand, like, we don't have to really stand for this shit. Like, we really don't have to be like, okay, well, no, we can air out our feelings. We can air out how we feel. It's called freedom of speech. And if we can't even do that, then damn, bro, what is the point of all this? For real. We're not here to serve for the elite or whoever. There's no higher power. And in all actuality, if you really think about it, we're all equal. But in reality, that's not how it's happening. Like, that's not really what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That person might be benefiting only for that country or like that part of the state. And then the rest of that part of the state that's not being cared for, well, then they're fucked. That's what happens. Think about it. So all I just wanted to say in this video, mainly, is just understand when you vote, vote for what you think, what you align with. Don't just vote because this person's saying, oh, it's time to get them ballots in. That's bogus. At the end of the day, we should be able to vote whenever, wherever. We should be able to vote, okay, first 100 days. There should be like a thing. There should be like a petition type of thing, or be like, hey, bro, your 100 days are up. You didn't do this, or even this. You didn't even check out any of these. You got to go. Why are we waiting another 4 years? Bro, people don't even know about tomorrow, bro. For real. We don't even know about tomorrow. So how we going to let this person, whoever's in office, and I'm not talking about anyone specific, I'm just saying in general, how are we going to let someone stay for 4 years while it's affecting Bob over there or Jerry over there, or how this person is living over there? And they got to just put up with it for 4 years when they don't even know about next month, tomorrow. How is it that they can watch our country do so much, put out billions and millions of money that I don't even know where this money's coming from, but we're throwing it in aid for other countries, which is, you know what? That's a pretty cool thing and dope thing that we can do to help other countries. But at the end of the day, we are a country in ourselves. So don't forget about that. And this is just a message to whoever it is that's doing all that extra shit. Y'all need to calm down for real and actually really just focus on. Because at the end of the day, think about it. If we were able to use our voices and vote and actually do something productive, lives could actually really change for the better. Things could be more productive. Things can actually progress instead of it being, okay, these 4 years won't actually really have an impact until another 20 years. That's bogus. That's cap. And like that honestly makes me want to not vote. Like, I'm being dead ass. And like, honestly, if you really think about it, what would happen if no one votes? Like, that's just something I'm kind of like, you feel me? Like, if no one votes, but like that person's terms up and all that, like it's over with. Like, no one votes though. What happens? Like, I don't know. That was just a random thought when I was making this video or like preparing it. I was just like, actually on some real shit. Like, I don't know what would happen, but yeah. So anyways, vote, but vote and be conscious. Don't just vote to vote. Don't be voting because Bob or your neighbor over there is saying, yo, it's time to vote. Your vote matters right now. Whole time, a month later, 2 months later, shit's not happening the way you thought it would because your vote really doesn't matter today, at least. But hopefully tomorrow, the voting and all that, the voices actually are heard. Hopefully. This is no disrespect to all those who are a politician or those who work their asses off to actually be a good politician. I'm sure there are people out there that are really trying to do better. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We really need some real change. We need something to actually happen for the better, for the younger generation, not even like the older generation, for the younger generation. It's always about the older people, bro. Like our younger generation, like, I swear people say like older, I've heard older people say like, we gotta watch how we care for the younger because they're gonna be the ones who take care of us. Whole time we're really just doing all these things for these older people who really are old but still have something to say because of their age. No, age doesn't define how mature you are, your experience. I don't care about none of that, bro. You are you at the end of the day, period. So your voice, yeah, you matters. Your vote matters. But hopefully one day something actually happens. Hopefully soon too. And with that being said, I'd just like to say, you know what I'm saying? I think I said everything I had to say, but I'm very sure, I'm very, 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 very sure that in the coming days, coming months, let alone hopefully by the end of this year, there will be a lot of comments, a lot of talk, a lot of conversations sparked off of this video. And it's all meant for the good. Like, I'm not here to trash our state or our country or whatever. Like, I just want this place to actually be great. I don't know about, respectfully, I don't know about this. It was great before. Nah, bro. There was a lot of bullshit before. A lot of bullshit. And I don't care. So There's got it, like, for the future, let's make that be like actual great. Let's make the younger generations, those who are struggling currently, not be able to be struggling tomorrow, next month, next year. And if we can make these changes instantaneously for someone's health, for the whole population's health, then we can make these changes fast. It's just logic. Use your voice. And with that being said, all right, didn't expect this video to be this long, but I hope that my point was well said and well received. That being said, it's your boy, Shab. I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow. I love y'all. Have a blessed day. Reality is what you do next. Peace. Okay, so I'm actually not done. I thought I was done, but then when I watched this whole video, I didn't even cover the second screenshot. And I actually love to do my videos usually raw, uncut. However, I just feel like this part needs to be said. Like I said, it was a spicy one. So, you know, actually might as well, excuse me, remind you real quick, because maybe you forgot. All right. You're very hard to control when you're healthy. You're very hard to manipulate when you're clear. You're very hard to influence when you're sovereign. Okay, so let me just say this. A lot of the times when you really look back and just pay attention, okay, well, what are they selling us on? Or like, what are they really trying to have us vote for them for? Like, you know, and they usually try to get us with this big pitch on, we're going to clear student debt, cap. We're going to lower gas prices or hire these pay, like your, what's it called? Your hourly wage or whatever. We're going to do this. A lot of the times when you really look at it, again, like I said earlier in this video, when you look at the grand scheme of things, a lot of those things are not really positively affecting people for really thinking about it. So I just wanted to put that screenshot in there. The reason why I'm even using that screenshot is to say, please be aware of what they're really trying to say. Do your research, look back how things have, you know, even if it's like it's the same party or whatever, you know what I'm saying, but it's just a different person now saying this. Like it's really repetitive what they're saying. So please do not be manipulated. Don't be tricked. Don't go for it because it looks so good, because usually when it looks so good, it's really not good. It won't turn out good. So all I just wanted to say is be strong, be sturdy, remain sturdy, and really just be adamant with your voice. It's really bigger than a voice. Like, I mean, not bigger than a voice, bigger than a vote, okay? Like, your voice is bigger than the vote. Matter of fact, your voice lasts longer than the vote. You get me? Because there's always a time period where we're going to be voting. But your voice leaves an impact. It leaves a statement. So please use your voice in a positive way, if anything, and just be aware that when you're clear-minded, when you really focus on the details and just really focus on, okay, what is this person even trying to run for? Like, what are they trying to get out of it? Really, just ask yourself, like, how is this going to affect my city? How is this going to positively, like, create a different type of environment for us? Like, the people that lives in this state. I'm not talking about the west side or the east side. I'm talking about for me. How is this really going to affect the people around me, the community around me? Really, just do not be manipulated. And this goes for president. This goes for the mayors. This goes for those elections for the governors. Because, you know, this is a state-by-state thing they got. So, you know what I'm saying? Even if the president's not doing whatever, it's like, focus on what your state, like, you know, there's a whole lot of voting ballots or whatever, like, type of things going on. So it's really bigger than just the vote. It's your voice. Make sure your vote, like, means well and aligns with what you align with. Not just because everyone's saying, well, he's got this and he's trying to do this for healthcare and this. No, because in actuality, if we can spend billions, let alone create billions and trillions out of nowhere and aid and be an aid for other people, which again is pretty dope, then we could definitely make these type of changes here in the U.S. Respectfully. There's no one that can argue with me on that. There's no one that can convince me different. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, those type of things can be, they can happen. But when? When is it going to happen? That's the real question. Who's going to actually make that happen? Because it's really not happening, and it needs to start to happen. Anyways, yeah, I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to say, right? Yeah. You're very hard to control when you really know what you're like voting for, let alone what you want. Like ask yourself what you want and use that voice of yours to do so through your vote, through your efforts, through your actions, whatever it is. All right. It's very hard to manipulate you. Straight up. When your intentions are clear, when you know what you want, no one can trick you. No one can disagree with you, or they can disagree with you, but that shouldn't like have you stutter, let alone stop trying to do what you're trying to do. You have a purpose of your own. You have a voice of your own. You are you. They might be different. So what? You are still you. You don't got to conform. You don't got to reduce yourself. Like, yeah, you don't need to do none of that just for the hierarchy or whatever. I was going to say the higher something, but then I said hierarchy in the middle of all that. But anyways, we're not here to serve this hierarchy, whatever. You are you, period. Just embrace that. And then yeah, when you're sovereign, when you put your foot to the ground and you know what you want, it's really hard to really just influence you and just have you change, like really like convince you to do this or have like, you know what I'm saying? So don't just pay attention to what the news outlets or the big pictures, or because really not the big picture. Like your mind, what you think is the big picture. Your voice is the big picture. So just once you understand that, when you realize that, you are unbeatable, you are unstoppable, and you are of value. Well, really, you are of value, but I just want you to understand, like, you really are of value, like, for real. Don't let them folks really just convince you otherwise. You get me? All right, anyways. I love y'all. It's your boy, Say Option. I'm going to catch y'all tomorrow. Have a blessed day. For real. I'm out this time. Peace.